Hello YouTube, this is Shamus from Team Shenanigans. I'm starting a new weekly, hopefully, video thing, and it's going to be called Shamus' Shame Report, and this will be the first one. And the topic of today's discussions is the TCG exclusives of past years and sets. The TCG exclusives, as you guys know, have been really good of late and game-changing, and they've almost made the ban list that we share with the OCG not adequate for our game. But I'm going to go over some of the recent TCG exclusives and the effect they had on the game. Okay, we're going to start back with the set, the Shiny Darkness. The 3 TCG exclusives that I know of that were impactful to the game from this set were well, 2 of them were Saber cards, 1 of them was Infinities. Those are the 2 decks that really came about after that set came out. First one is XX Saber Bogart Knight. If you guys don't know what he does, 1900 Beast Warrior Saber. Summon him, you can special another Saber from hand. Sets up your Fault Roll play, sets up your Home Life play, all that good stuff. The other one is, of course, Dark Soul. This card is what really fueled the deck itself. Without Dark Soul, they were not consistent and they were not as good as they are. These 2 cards coming out in that set made the deck one of the top tier decks for that format, and yeah, that by itself. Japan just got Dark Soul, and even now Sabers are starting to become more popular there. Anyway, okay, and the other card is Infernity Barrier. I don't know if you guys remember the format. I barely played in it, but the format, they had triple barrier, triple launcher, all that great stuff. Infernity is retarded with triple launcher. But anyway, Barrier is what really made the deck ridiculous, because it can stop pretty much anything. It's an extra solemn judgment. As long as they don't have a hand and they have a face of attack as a monster, they're fine. They just go make the 3K Doom Dragon dude sit behind him, and Barrier just does work. Let you waste all your rounds. Alright, anyway, the next set that had a TCG exclusive that was impactful was, I believe, Starstrike Blast, and that was Recruiter. Gravekeeper Recruiter is the searcher for the Gravekeeper engine, and because of it, that deck became tier 1 for a little while, because Tribute was at 3, and it was a no-heavy format. So people would just be like, Tribute, or set 3, play Necker Valley, set monster, Tribute, and then like blow your hand, and there you go, game's over. I think he was the only one that was impactful, and I think Japan just got him, but Keepers are kind of dead right now, so anyway. Next set is Ragnarok, and I think the only TCG exclusive that is very important to the game right now was Maxi. This card, you drop it from your hand in response to your opponent doing something, and you draw every time they special summon this turn. This card is run in 3s in some decks now because ability breaks tops with it at 3 in this plant deck, and it really is a great game state controller. It can slow decks down, makes your opponent stop playing whatever they're doing because they don't want you to gain too much advantage of it, and it's just a great deck then too. I mean, it's an amazing card. Even Exodia decks sometimes run it. And the next set was Extreme Victory, and that crapper changed the entire meta because it had not so much this dude. Nairi Esadari was in it, but he's not the one I'm talking about. Reborn Tengu and Tour Guide from the Underworld. These 2 cards changed the entire meta. They gave birth to the current plant deck, because you have the 1-for-1 Dandy play with this, not this, and then you have the Tour Guide Shenanigans. And those cards really changed the game. Even during Nats, Reborn Tengu was like the card last year. You needed it to compete within any deck that didn't run Tengu. Couldn't keep up. There were decks that ran Tengu just to crash into your opponent's Tengu and clear the crapper. And he's still amazing right now. And in my personal opinion, I think he needs to go to 2. But that's probably not going to happen because the OCG doesn't have him. Same with Tour Guide. But anyway, Tour Guide became way more powerful once the Exceeds came out after Nats. So like with Leviar and Zen Mighty, when he's coming out here in a week or so, and Acid Golem, when he comes out, there's going to be retarded things going on with this card, and it needs to be hit. But it's not going to because it's a TCG exclusive. Anyway, then we had the end of the 5Ds era and the start of the Seal thingy with Orient Dragon. I believe he's the only impactful secret or impactful TCG exclusive from Generation Force. Orient Dragon basically replaced Iron Chain Dragon as a level 6 target for Debris Dragon. He's a 6-star synchro. When he's special, you have to remove a opponent's synchro monster. It's a mandatory effect. But if your opponent doesn't have one, obviously it doesn't matter. But anyway, that's what he does. He's not as impactful as previously stated. In fact, no other card is more impactful or better than the Tango and the tour guides. But he's a useful card. Next, we have the most recent set, Photon Shockwave, that had Evolvesar, Dulka, and Wind Up Zen mains. And these two cards have been used in the next Tier 1 deck that came out, the Rescue Rabbit deck. Dulka is the counterpart to Logia, rank 4 Exceed, requiring dinosaurs. Attach a dinosaur and negate an effect. It's like a Divine Wrath on legs. 2300 beater. It's a really good card. In my personal opinion, it's better than Dulka or Logia in some ways because you can use it twice as opposed to Logia's once. It's smaller, I understand that. You can swing over it easier. It doesn't stop as many things as Logia is, but it's a much better card for controlling your opponent, especially against plants and not so much against fairies, but plants mostly. If you have back row to protect him, I would make him over Logia, but again, you have to have the back row. Logia is the better card if you're in a top deck war. Anyway, Zen Mains is another card that makes Tour Guide so amazing. He's just a generic rank 3. You special summon him, 2 overlays, you do a Tour Guide, bring back a Tour Guide from deck or whatever 3-star you use. Overlay, 21 defense, 1500 attack. If he were to die during the turn, detach, end phase, you have to pop a card. It's an amazing card. It really, your opponent can dark hole you and detach this, and if they don't play anything, it has to pop itself. But like, it forces them to not play anything if they try to kill it because you'll just pop it off in the end phase, and it's awesome. Amazing card to stop your opponent. And the only reason I really play Cyber Dragon anymore is because this pooper is a machine. You can get around with Cyber. But anyway, that's my opinion. And my opinion is Konami needs to stop making so many amazing TCG exclusives because they're really not healthy for the game, considering we have the same ban list as Japan. And if we have cards they don't have, it entirely changes our meta, because plants aren't anywhere near as big over there than they are here, and that's because they don't have Tour Guide or Tengu, and those cards really make that deck. Same with I think the Rabbit deck's not as big over there, because I mean they have Logia, but they don't have Dulka, and he's the other one that's really making the dragon or the dinosaur rabbit deck amazing. But I don't know how you guys feel about it. Feel free to post comments or send us messages on your thoughts on the TCG exclusives that have come out in recent years. And have fun playing Yu-Gi-Oh! This is Shamus from TeamShenanigans, signing out.